Huge thank you to CIBC for making We Get It possible. Welcome, everyone. My name is Karine. I'm the program director with Young Adult Cancer Canada, and this is a new episode of We Get It. We Get It comes on every Monday. We have different guests, and we talk about all kinds of things, from stories from our community members to, like I have today, guests that are health professionals or people working with cancer patients of all ages, and having learnings, techniques, information that can help our community members at YAC, but I would say all of us, live as best as possible and the best life as possible. So today is no exception. I'm with Lyne Poirier-Lorusso.
Yes.
Lyne, we were full on talking French before pressing record because we're both from Montreal. So we went in full speed in French, but we're going to do this episode in English. Lyne, thank you so much for being with me. I'm super happy and I'm pumped that our community is going to get to know you. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for having us. This is an awesome opportunity for me to talk about the Kids Kicking Cancer Hero Circle program that's in Canada and in Ottawa. And so this is wonderful. And I can't wait to teach you how we do our breath break, because I know you're really big on breathing. So am I. And this is something that we teach to all our students every class. And today I am wearing my black gi from Kids Kicking Cancer with my black belt. I have my hair tied up in a ponytail, and I'm working in my office at home. And behind me, there's a really big retractable banner that from Kids Kicking Cancer, and there's pictures, large photos of children wearing white gis doing martial arts. So yes.
This is awesome. And so, like Lyne was mentioning, she is working with Kids Kicking Cancer. So we'll learn a little bit about that, even though Young Adult Cancer Canada does work with young adults, so 18 years and older, who have received a diagnosis of cancer. Like we said earlier, the techniques and what we're going to talk about is beneficial most definitely to our community members and everyone. Myself, I didn't give my description, but I am my hair are up again today. I have dark hair, white skin. I'm wearing some of my favorite earrings that I bought this year. They're white, kind of natural. I don't know what they're made of, but I love them. And I have a black sweater. And I am in my home office upstairs on this semi-gray sunshine day in St. John's, Newfoundland. It snowed yesterday. Whatever, that's where we are, but it didn't stay, people. But for those watching, today is June 11 and it had a little bit of snow yesterday, but that's okay. So this is who we are, and like we touched on already, myself and Lyne, we're going to get to know Lyne a little bit more, because as you can see, she's not just wearing her gi for fun. There is a background to that. So she'll tell us a little bit about who she is and what she does, but then we're going to spend a lot of the time we have today talking about breath and all of the ways this can help and serve us in our lives. So first, let's start where we can learn a little bit more about you, Lyne.
Well, I started karate 10 years ago, and I went in with my son, my youngest son. And I realized there was no age to start martial arts. And with a lot of hard work and getting out of my comfort zone, I succeeded on getting my first degree black belt at the age of 50. And since then, I have gotten my second degree. So that's been a wonderful experience. And in my family, a little fun fact, in my family, we're five, my husband, my children, and I, and we're five black belts. And our mantra in our family is that the family that kicks together sticks together. And so that's been wonderful to work with my family, that community. And also there's a lot of stuff I've learned lessons from doing martial art. Mm-hmm. First of all, I've learned to have better focus. I've also become stronger. I feel empowered mentally and physically. There's a better connection there, listening. I also have a lot more self-control when it comes to stressful situation, how to calm myself down. And also there's a community that comes with being part of a dojo where they help you grow and improve. And that's very important, right? It's all about growing. It's all about that community.
Yeah.
And for the program for the Kids Kicking Cancer Hero Circle, one day Rabbi G, the founder of Kids Kicking Cancer, showed up at her dojo to talk about the program. They wanted to start the program in Ottawa, and he is a father of a 2-year-old little girl that passed away from leukemia, and he's also a black belt, and he actually started the program 20 years ago of Kids Kicking Cancer Hero Circle. And since then, 20 years later, Kids Kicking Cancer is around the world. We're in Canada, we're in the USA, Israel, we're also in South Africa and in Italy. So, and we all have the same mission. Our mission is to help empower all the children in our program and help them to heal physically, mentally, and spiritually. In our program, we say Kids Kicking Cancer. However, it's not just kids. We have, in the States, they have kids that go up to 25, 28, 30, because we're all children, first of all, at heart. And it never goes, we always need that community. So the program is about being everybody together. Our program includes children starting at the age of 3 years old, and it goes up. And it also includes their siblings and their families. And the program is free at no cost to all the families that join us.
This is so cool. And you've hit like something that is at the heart of YAC, which is community. So what you do specifically, I'm like, oh my God, I have a million ideas, but for another day. But there is something there. I think there's a lot of strength in connecting. And I think for within our community, what we see is peers supporting each other so that growth and that healing, whatever it means something different for everyone because everybody's in a different place. Some people have gone through cancer and are done treatment and are healing from what happened. Other people are living with cancer and won't necessarily have an end to their treatment, and they're coping and finding ways to heal. So community and connection is so helpful. So, hey, anyone listening or watching, we're not saying that you have to do martial art it is just one of the ways and something that is related to Kids Kicking Cancer. But I do love and know that for some of our community members, it has helped, not just to your point on the physical part, but also in the mental element because of everything that is around martial art, which is a whole different episode. I'm sure we could do just on that.
Yes. Oh, yes. Because I always tell the kids when the people or families, they come into the class and they say, oh, you have a black belt. I tell them all the black belt is a white belt that never quit. So because it, like you said, the only reason I got to that black belt was the support of my family and my community. And that's why I keep doing it. And then to find out that we can share this knowledge with other people and it can change their way of processing of how they deal with their cancer, it is simply amazing. And our program actually works with volunteer senseis. So we have volunteer senseis that do a special training, and then they can teach to all the children how to the breathing, the relaxation, and the meditation. But they also teach them how to do some martial arts moves. However, nothing is done with having, there's no element of contact whatsoever. There's so much we can do in martial arts without that. And in our classes also, what's wonderful is that if a child shows up and they're in a wheelchair or a younger, we have a lot of teens in our class, the program also, and they show up and they have different disability, our whole class will become part of doing exactly what this child needs. So everybody will do everything, whether you can do it sitting down, but everybody will do only punching if that student cannot do any kicking, so that we all feel inclusive. Everybody's doing it at the same time. And that really helps to connect everybody, to feel that you belong, right? And
Yeah.
we also, and our goal is to always empower the children. And our goal is that it's words, also using the right words and different things we do. So one thing you do in any dojo is to bow. So we have a special bow for the program, and it's the three words are power, peace, and purpose. And that's our mantra. So when we do our bow, we have the kids stand at attention. They put their right arm up and with a fist, and that's their power. And we teach them that power, that's their inner strength. And often we don't know how strong you are, because when you start as a white belt, you never think you'll make it to the black belt. You want, it's a goal. However, you realize through the different belts, the different level, how strong you actually are inside by pushing a little bit more and having that support. So there we say that's the power inside of them. And that's why we call all our students powerful martial artists. And then they take the other hand and they put it over, and that's peace. And that's the calmness they need to actually access that power inside of them. And when they have that peace, that helps them to be calm and to focus and to breathe in the light and breathe in that peace. And then when they're done, it's the purpose. Our purpose, we bow. A purpose is like each child or student, when they show us how strong they are, and that in face of adversity, and they show that face of strength in front of us, they teach us. And we tell them that is your purpose, to teach the world. I've seen so many young students come to class, or some not so young, and they come to class, and just by doing some of the tools we teach them, the breath break we're going to teach you, and they stop crying at needles. They never cry again. So then the families are kind of surprised, because here's the child they're always holding down for a needle. And then this child uses everything as a powerful martial artist that they've learned in class. And this little boy had only come once to class. And he went to the hospital and he went for his needle. And they said, okay, who's going to hold him down? And they said, you don't need to hold me down. He says, I've got this. I'm a powerful martial artist now. And he started doing his breath break. And right away, they did the needle. He was done. Never cried again. So,
excuse me.
That's remarkable. When the father told me, I wanted to cry because I thought it worked, because you can have something to teach, but if nobody's ready to take it, you just need somebody that wants to listen. And these children and these powerful martial artists are incredible.
Yes, and I feel like, anyway, it would be really cool to figure out a way to bring some of what you do and give access to our community to some of this, to understand and taste it, because I feel like a lot of what you said are definitely tools that can help regardless of where you are. I know young adults in our community who hate needles, for who it is a huge stressor to actually have to go, and as we know, they get poked so much throughout the cancer journey. It's really hard. So I think there's a lot of that can, to your point, be applicable at all ages. But so you've mentioned breath. We're going to focus the other part of our chat on that, because those who know me from the community know I do my Just Breathe post. And for me, breath has become definitely in the last decade something that I've become more and more and more aware of, and how I used to breathe or not breathe, and how practicing, becoming more aware of it and finding ways that worked for me really has made a difference in coping with stress. So just, I don't know, you might not know that information, but I'm sure it's not going to surprise you, Lyne, and you may know it, but we've done a research, the Yak Prime study with our young adult community, and there are all kinds of things that came from that: fear of cancer recurrence, body image distress, quality of life. All of those things came out saying young adults are struggling, but distress, so anxiety and depression, is really, really present in our young adult community. So finding ways, we always try to support and find ways to help cope with that, because I don't think it's realistic to think that life in general, and definitely not life with cancer at certain times, is not going to be stressful at any point. But having more tools to cope with this stress, or waiting for test results, sitting in the waiting room, waiting to see your oncologist, the stress that comes with that can be really taxing on the body and the mind. So how talk to me about the breath work and some of what you teach and how we
Excellent.
teach our people.
That's awesome, because this is actually exactly what our program does. Yeah, and we call it more, Kids Kicking Cancer. Sometimes I'll say KKC Hero Circle, because we want to say that Hero Circle is about including everybody, different ages. And actually, in Israel, they're now working with young adults, and they're working with older adults. And actually, so to connect them, because this is our purpose, right? To teach. And that's what we do. And everything that we use is good for everybody. And it's good for, like you said, for the breath, for that anxiety, for the lack of self-esteem, for all the traumas and the pain that the children or the students live with, all of us actually. These are ways to deal with the tools that we give. And that's exactly how we call them, tools. And we tell them, just put them in your tool belt. So we work with our bow. Just our bow is to remind us how strong we are. Our bow is to recenter us when we start our program and wherever we do our classes. And then we also do body scans. Today we won't have time for the body scan, but it might be a great opportunity to see each other again for the body scan. Body scan is about a hard stop. We say, when you have, you're doing a hard stop and you really need to totally let go of all your stress and relax totally, you do a body scan. We've seen a lot of patients, when they're in having different procedure done, our program also goes in the hospital. So what they do, the senseis will come in and do a body scan, and often the patient falls asleep. Mm-hmm. So then we just walk out. And because they needed that. But sometimes we don't have time for that. It's like sometimes we don't have time for a sit-down meal, right? We only have time for a quick meal, so we need a microwave. So the breath break is the microwave version of getting that relaxation while, like you say, like you were waiting or before going for a poke or going through that poke. And maybe going to an MRI. We've had some patient use it, going through the MRI and just calming themselves and not needing any medication whatsoever afterwards, or before. And so, like you said, the breath break is fundamental to our program. All the children do it from starting at 3 years old, and they teach everybody. They love teaching their parents. And then stress is a natural response to our body for flight or fight, right? And it's great if you're in the jungle and you're in danger. However, being everyday life and having to live with that stress all the time, it really does damages in our lives, on our health, in our relationships. So we can't stay there in that moment of flight or fight. So what we want to do is that we want to have the every element of our body does not want to focus on survival. We need to strive. We need to be healthy. So I'm sorry, but we sometimes can't control. It's hard sometimes when you have so much information you want to give, but you want to give it properly, right? And the best way is to say from my heart, what we want to do, we can't control stress. It's going to happen. However, we control how we breathe. So it's so important that when we breathe in, we actually elevate, uplift ourselves, right? And it actually prepares us to breathe out. And when you're breathing out, you're actually relaxing every part of your muscle and letting go of everything. And that's when the process of breath breathing, starts. And that's what the breath is about. It's about breathing in and breathing out and being intentional about it. So I'd like to teach you how we do that. And eventually all the people listening, they'll have an opportunity to know exactly how to do it. It's so simple to do. And I'll show you different adaptation that some of our students have shown us how to use, and maybe another example of how often it's been used. So the breath break starts off, first of all, to sitting down, or you can lie down, or you can actually be standing. You know, sometimes we're standing at the grocery and you're going through stress and stuff like that. It can be used in your car, it can be used in your office when you're in front of doing homework or trying to do a project and just not dealing with whatever's in front of you or needing to focus. I love to do this because I find I focus better, I relax, and I can recenter myself and get back to my breathing. And it re-energized me.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing we do, once you're sitting down nice and comfortable, you relax your shoulder. And you start breathing in from your nose. And if you can, breathe out from your mouth. And as we do this, we're going to take our hands and we're going to put them together. We're going to rub them together. And you start rubbing. This I find really helps me to start focusing on what I'm doing in the present moment, because I kind of forgot, what was happening, the reason why I started doing this. And this, you'll realize as you're doing it, it gets really warm. So if you separate them, it's nice and warm. And we call that your chi, and that's your energy. And we're going to use that to help you breathe in light and push out darkness. So then that once you've rubbed your hand, you're going to take your hands and you're going to put them at your belly button, facing palm up.
I'm doing it.
So what we're going to do, as we breathe in the air, we're going to bring up our hands up all the way to our shoulders. And when you get to your shoulder, you're going to take another big breath in. And then we're going to turn over our hands, palm down, and we're going to blow out. Exhale. When you get to your belly button, it's hard push. Check. Check. Well done. Breath is everything in martial art, right? And so let's do this again. But this time, however, we're going to visualize breathing in light. What is light? Light is hope, healing, love. Some kid says their light, it's ice cream. And that's wonderful. So it's what in the moment you're going to visualize something that makes you happy, comfortable, well. And when we're going to be breathing in the light, we will be, though, exhaling, breathing out the darkness. What is darkness? That's our fear, frustration, anger, just pain, letting it all go. So we start again, putting our hand at our belly button. And we're going to, and you can close your eyes if you want, because it helps you visualize breathing in that light. So you close your eyes, and when you're breathing in, think of that light that you're thinking of, something beautiful. Breathing in at the shoulder, you do a big breath in. You turn your hands over, and now you breathe out your darkness, fear, anger, frustration. You let it all go. At your belly button, push it out. Now we're going to do this again. And you're going to notice as you're breathing in, that light, it's like a wave. Bringing in this light within you. Turn your hands over and you push out the darkness. And you do it again. Breathe in the light. And breathe out the darkness. You'll feel after calmer. It gave you an opportunity to refocus your breath because you started breathing and actually listening to it. Your body was listening to it. And when we breathe in that light and we think that positive, we're changing the mindset we had. And we breathe out, we can't let go of anything that was actually bothering us. And you keep breathing in, breathing out until there's no more darkness to breathe out. All you have left is you're filled with that wonderful light. And I do know that if you're driving, doing these movements and closing your eyes is not optional. However, you can easily do it with your shoulders going up and going down. It's just a body. Your body is just going to it's a little bit like you're saying every week you put up something on your post about breathing, and automatically your body sees it, does it, and feels that refreshing feeling. It's the same thing with your body, knowing whether you start rubbing your hands and you bring up your shoulder and relaxing your body and breathing in, your body will connect. It's muscle memories, right? And martial art, everything we do is about muscle memory. So everything we do, we repeat over and over and over, because you're never good at it. You just want to keep getting a little bit better at it and better at it. And each time you grow, you learn from it. And then it changes how you're doing it. Because some older students tell us, well, we don't want to be doing this with our shoulders or bringing up and down. So they do it when they're doing presentation or tests. They do it with their fingers. They breathe in and they breathe out. And this way gives them an opportunity wherever they are in the bus, waiting in line somewhere. It gives them an opportunity to find that focus, that control. Give them that power back. That's what we mean by empowering them and feeling strong it's their breathing. They have control of this, and it's free, and it's always available.
Always available. And as I'm listening, I love this practice. I'm going to do that after we talk. I'm going to go somewhere and I'm going to really do that again, because I love it. And I think I'm thinking of some of our community members who sometimes when we do meditation work with them, for some, as we know, they've had either massive surgeries, their lung capacity is quite different. They're feeling often out of breath as a physical symptom of whatever treatment. And so I think with breath work for anyone, and I'm sure you're going to agree, Lyne, it's not about having to these deep, you go within your capacity at this moment, but this practice that you gave us, the visualization that comes with it, it's not so much about, nobody's going to go measure the amount of oxygen you're putting in and out. It's just more the consciousness of this breath and this practice that can make a difference. I think it is accessible to anyone. And I love the kind of changes you're giving, because to your point, for some people, they get so caught up in the movement that then, so it's like this practice has to fit within where you are, how you are, your capacity, physical and others. So I love this. This is great.
Oh, awesome. You see, that's what our families and the children and the students that we have say the same thing, because they use it all the time. We have one young man in our program that has a disability, visual disability, and this has really helped them refocus, find, like you said, that strength he needs. And this young man actually came with Sensei and I, and we actually taught people in the government that had a lunch break and were stressed out, because we all are, because everything is virtual, right? And it's just change. There's just different anxiety trying to connect everything. So this young man came to class, came to the presentation and showed everybody how to do the breath break. And it's powerful when it comes from a young child or an older child, somebody that went through the trauma, is going through the cancer, because it's so powerful, their message. It inspires us, and it reminds us that just calm down. He's that young boy, and all of our students are a perfect example that you can find that strength within you. It is there. We actually had a young girl they were going to a family event, and a stressful situation happened. And this young girl, no older than 5 years old, she saw that her parents were all distraught. They were all mixed up. There was a lot of chaos happening. She had everybody sit down in her family. Everybody had to calm down and do the power breathing. She led the power breathing, and everybody calmed down. Mom called me after, and she goes, "It works." And these are wonderful testament to how we can teach each other, right? That community, like you said, and to see our children, that purpose we give them. And when you give a purpose to a child or somebody going through something very difficult or traumatic, or their body being ill, and they share their strength, they empower everybody. And that's why we say that they teach the world. They make people from around the world, when they come and they change it, and then somebody else shares it with somebody else. And it's just, we are all stronger because of that.
Yes. Oh, beautiful words to slowly bring this to a close. I feel like we could have gone way deeper, and so maybe we'll have to do this in another episode. But I love this, and I spoke at different times this season with all kinds of guests. One of the things that comes up often is practice. I think some of what you're saying, again, we're not selling this is all you have to do and everything is going to work out first time, and to incorporate practice. If it is martial art, great. If it's not, there are all kinds of techniques like the one you taught us today that can be incorporated. And I think it's for us as humans. We're all human, regardless of if you're going through cancer, have gone through, supporting someone. We have a tendency sometimes in moments of crisis to then try and solve the discomfort or the distress we feel in crisis. And if we didn't in our life, when we were not in a crisis mode, practice what can be useful to us, it's a bit harder to put into practice when things are starting to kind of go not the way we want. So ultimately, I would say practice things like these. If it works for you, try it out. You might like it, you might not. It's not about, again, this one magical recipe, but I do profoundly believe in the power of breath. I don't think there's any, I don't know. No, it does help. You just have to find a way to make it work for you. But thank you, Lynn. This was so great.
Thank you.
Simple little things like that can make such a big difference. Thank you for the work you do. I think it's so important, and I'm honest. I would love to talk some more about how can Yak and this amazing work that can kids
So
kicking
just call it
cancer.
KKC Hero Circle. Yes, KKC Hero Circle. Yes, it would be
Yeah.
wonderful, because I really believe that I know our senseis, our volunteer senseis, love to teach, because they know how it changed their lives and made them stronger. And to each time they have an opportunity to meet our kids that we do virtually right now, it changed them. It makes them stronger. So it's a win-win, right? We're all teachers, and we're all students. In a dojo, that's what we learn. So, and we'd love to come again and just to have different classes for young adults, because we do understand that our children do grow up to become adults. But they always need to continue or to learn and just share what we teach, because they're still, like I said, the body scan. I'd love to teach you, because that hard stop changes everybody. I've had people that told me, no, I can't do that. And afterwards they fall asleep. So I know it can be.
Yeah.
It's a message we need to hear. And if somebody can teach us, and like you said, it's great that you need to repeat and repeat, because this is muscle memory. And to have, again, that community, somebody that says, oh, let's practice it now. And that's a reminder, and that's what we need. It's that friendship, that community. We can't say it enough, right? And we'd love to be there, because like I said, KKC is totally there. We'd love to come and teach older children, young adults.
Yeah.
And
Well,
actually maybe bring some young kids to teach the older kids, because someday they will be older also.
Well, I think there's a lot of possibilities and creativity here. So we will explore. Huge thank you for this.
Thank you.
Yes, I would love, because we've done body scan through mindfulness stress reduction, based stress reduction meditation type. So I've practiced body scan. We have with our community, but I would love to explore it with you. So Thank you. I hope that anyone who listened in or watched this episode has find this useful and that you're going to get curious and want to try this out. And as I do every Monday, I think today we've done it together. It's a reminder to just breathe. And the technique that Lyne just showed us today is a very simple way where we can let in the light and push out the darkness and all those fears. So I would invite anyone today or whenever you watch this episode to take a moment to just breathe, do it in a way that is going to just bring you back to the present moment and maybe clear some of the clouds that sometimes they're there. And hey, you know what? As we say in our community, it's okay not to be okay. So by you practicing your breath, if at the end of a practice you're still kind of feeling a little down, don't beat yourself up. This is okay. Some days are really difficult, we know, but just keep that practice in because this is self-love. To take a pause and to do those practices is loving yourself. So to always give yourself some credit for giving yourself some love in that way. So little reminder to breathe again. Lyne, thank you so much. I loved our chat and I feel like we're gonna see each other again. And to
Karine, I'm
yes.
sorry. I was thinking, how about we finish with the Kids Kicking Cancer bow, the KKC bow,
Oh yes,
together?
yes. I wanted to do that when you said it, and then I
And
forgot.
I'll teach it more to you next time.
Okay.
We'll get the practice because it's important, right? It helps us refocus. And you are a powerful martial artist now. So let's
Thank you. Yay.
awesome.
Right.
So we sit at attention and we start off with power.
Lifting our right
Hand. Oh, I'm going. Yeah, this is my right, but it's the opposite. Power. You make a fist. That's your strength. Peace.
putting our left hand on top of the right one.
Yes, and I'm sorry. And purpose. We bow in front of us. And thank you for this wonderful opportunity to teach you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of the day.